Welcome back in a new video. Today on Profit Show, we're diving into the remarkable history, hidden secrets, and modern value of the legendary 1972 D Mink Mark Eisenhower $1 coin. Stay tuned, because by the end of this journey, you might rush to check your own coin collection, and you'll see why thousands of coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters are hooked on stories just like this. If you want to keep learning about rare finds and lifelong profits, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more eye-opening discoveries right here on Profit Show. Let's set the stage. The year is 1972. America is buzzing with change. Vietnam War protests echo across college campuses, the Apollo missions are still sending astronauts to the moon, and in the world of American currency, the United States Mint is preparing something unique. The Eisenhower dollar coin, introduced just the previous year, is set to be an icon. Honoring President Dwight D. Eisenhower and commemorating the Apollo 11 landing on the moon, this coin captures not just history in metal, but also the bold ambitions of a nation. But what makes the 1972 D Mink Mark Eisenhower dollar so special? And why are collectors today willing to pay up to $7,000 or more for the rarest examples? Let's start with the basics. The Eisenhower dollar replaced the iconic peace dollar after a long hiatus of silver dollars in circulation. Crafted from copper-nickel clad rather than pure silver for most strikes, this coin featured two powerful images: President Eisenhower on the front and an eagle landing on the moon on the back, a direct nod to the Apollo 11 insignia. The Denver Mint, indicated by the small D Mink mark under Eisenhower's neck, played a leading role in 1972, striking millions of these robust coins. In circulation, most people saw the Eisenhower dollar as simply a heavy, dollar value coin, often relegated to casino change, bankrolls, or forgotten jars. But as with all coins, not all Eisenhower dollars are created equal. In fact, among the sea of millions, just a handful exhibit the kinds of errors, pristine quality, and special characteristics that demand the biggest payouts. And that's exactly where the story of the $7,000 Eisenhower dollar begins. Firstly, let's talk about the basics of rarity and value in the world of coins. Three main factors can turn a humble dollar into a highly sought-after collectible: mintage numbers, rarity due to errors, and impeccable condition. While the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar had a high official mintage, over 92 million struck at the Denver Mint, the most valuable pieces stand apart for two reasons: unblemished, top-quality condition, and dramatic, eye-catching mint errors. Imagine this. In the chaos of the mint, a slightly misaligned die or a greasy press leaves a particular coin with a unique error. Maybe the design is subtly doubled, or a sliver of metal is missing, or there's a strange, ghostly shadow where lettering should be. These accidents, though rare, transform an ordinary Eisenhower dollar into a collector's dream, and the right error can mean a coin worth thousands. But for the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar, perfection is just as valuable as error. Most Eisenhower dollars clanged and clattered through casino slots, scraped across banks, and were tossed into circulation, picking up nicks, scratches, and blemishes along the way. But a very small percentage escaped unscathed, preserved for decades in pristine holders or forgotten rolls. Collectors call these MS-67 or MS-68 coins, mint state, essentially untouched since the day they left the press. The higher the number, the closer the coin is to absolute flawless perfection. Why does this matter? Let's look at recent history. In reputable coin auctions, a 1972 D Eisenhower dollar in normal circulated shape may fetch just a few dollars, perfect for casual collectors. But if you find an example graded mint state 67 or higher, the value skyrockets. In fact, a single 1972 D Eisenhower dollar, graced with a perfect grade and an almost magical absence of blemishes, has sold for as much as $7,000 at auction. That's right, a single coin, first minted for just $1, can fetch a price higher than a diamond necklace or a designer watch, just because it survived the decades in unreal, pristine condition. But that's not the end of the story. Some 1972 D Eisenhower dollars are legendary because of their varieties and errors. Die varieties, subtle changes or mistakes in the designs made by the mint's working hubs, can make one Eisenhower dollar dramatically different from another. Some display a rare form of doubling, while others feature missing or overpunched mint marks, tiny differences noticed only by the most eagle-eyed collectors. When these rare varieties appear in good condition, prices can soar, sometimes breaching the $7,000 mark and beyond. Now picture the scene that plays out time and again across America. Someone empties out a jar of old change, flips through dusty coin albums, or receives a box of loose coins from a relative's estate. Suddenly, there it is, a 1972 Eisenhower dollar buxom with that unmistakable D Mint mark, glinting in the light. A quick check of the date confirms it. Hearts race, hands tremble. Could this ordinary-looking coin be the jackpot, the elusive piece worth thousands? For decades, Eisenhower dollars were brushed aside, considered too large, too heavy, too cumbersome for daily spending. But those who held on to theirs, especially those untouched, hidden from the ravages of the pocket, the register, and the slot machine, might now hold a forgotten fortune. It's estimated that fewer than 50 coins in truly exceptional mint state 67 or better condition survive today, making them rarer than some of the most legendary baseball cards or comic books. But let's dig deeper into what makes collecting so compelling. Rare coins like the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar connect us to a living history. They pass from hand to hand, from the pockets of everyday Americans to the felt-lined trays of numismatists. And with each journey, they collect stories, secrets, and surprises. Collectors aren't just hoarding coins. They're honoring the memory of President Eisenhower, celebrating America's space triumphs, and cherishing the quirks and mistakes that make each coin unique. Maybe you're wondering, how can you spot a valuable Eisenhower dollar? Here are a few tips that could lead you straight to the next big find. First, always check for the mint mark, the D beneath Eisenhower's neck for Denver. Then, carefully inspect the coin's details. Is the strike deep and sharp or faint and worn down? Is there any doubling in the letters or numbers, any cracks, loss of detail, or strange marks that might indicate a mint error? And finally, look at the condition. If a coin looks shiny, clean, and free from nicks, scratches, or tarnish, you might have something special. If you do find a suspiciously flawless 1972 D Eisenhower dollar or detect a curious error, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can decrease its value dramatically. Instead, consider having it professionally assessed and graded. Certification agencies like PCGS or NGC can give your find an official grade and authenticate rare errors or varieties. Sometimes, the smallest detail, an overlooked line or subtle misalignment, can mean the difference between a dollar coin and an investment worth thousands. Across the world, stories abound of ordinary people becoming extraordinary collectors, finding untold wealth in unassuming places. The Eisenhower dollar proves that history, chance, and patience can combine to create both legend and profit. Even if you never stumble across a $7,000 prize, each search through your coins offers adventure, the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and a chance to connect with the past. So what do you think? Are you ready to take a look through your own change jars, childhood coin folders, or inherited collections? That Eisenhower dollar mixing with the rest might not just be a heavy hunk of metal. It could be a unique, valuable artifact carrying decades of history, and if you're lucky, the promise of a small fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, and you want to keep learning about hidden treasures, valuable collectibles, and how to profit from your own finds, join our thriving community. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more guides, stories, and expert tips delivered right to your screen. This is the Profit Show YouTube channel, where profit meets passion and ordinary discoveries become extraordinary rewards. Don't miss your chance. Hit subscribe and let the search for profit begin.